Obinna, you are very stupid.
Obinna had only two options that morning, and whichever one he chose would cost him something. In the year 1974, traveling abroad was not a normal thing. It was not common. It was not something you postponed. If a door opened like that, you ran through it before it closed. Our story begins in a quiet village surrounded by red earth and tall palm trees, where there lived a young boy called Obinna. Obinna was not a small fry in the village. He was tall, handsome, confident in that way only village champions are confident. He played football better than most boys his age. He dressed sharply during festival seasons. Mothers liked him. The village maidens watched him shyly whenever he passed by them. And he knew it. Popularity felt permanent. At 18, the world felt small because he had never gone beyond it. And beside Obinna, almost always, was Nina. Nina was a village beauty. She had a kind of beauty that made old women nod in approval and young boys fight over during New Year festivals. But she chose Obinna. And Obinna chose her. They were like the golden couple of the village. But if somebody had told Obinna that one day he would sit alone and remember the season with regret, he would have laughed, because nothing felt fragile then. One afternoon, dust suddenly rose at the entrance of the village. Obinna's elder brother Chike, who had been overseas for some years, had returned for a visit. In the 70s, that was royalty. Chike drove into town with his vintage car. The adults waved at the car. The children ran after the car. Chike waved back at them heartily. When Chike got to their house, he stepped out of the car. He was a sight to behold. Bell-bottom trousers, foreign wristwatch, leather shoes that shone like the sun, and a necklace on his chest. Obinna and his mother ran out of the house to welcome Chike. Their father had passed away years earlier, so Obinna had only his mother and his elder brother Chike. After the tearful reunion with the little family, Chike turned to the villagers who had gathered to welcome him. He shared gifts he brought from Obodo Ibo, quote and unquote, as overseas was called by the locals then. The atmosphere was festive. Everybody was happy. Then later that evening, when it was just Obinna, his brother, and his mother, Obinna's elder brother Chike spoke up on the reason why he had visited the village.
Mama, I want to tell you something. I came back so that I would take my younger brother here back with me to America.
Obinna could not believe his ears. Brother, what did you say? Obinna's brother laughed and repeated himself. In a week's time, Obinna, when I'm going back, I'm taking you with me. Obinna shouted for joy. He would be going abroad. He could not wait to share the good news with Nena. Their mother screamed and danced for joy. To travel abroad in the 70s, it was destiny knocking for her. And now, not just one, but her two sons would be going abroad. She would be known as Nne Ndi Obodo Ibo, which is roughly translated as mother of people abroad. Later that night, Obinna went to see Nena in their usual spots in the village and happily broke the news to her. Nne, my love, I have great news. And Nena was excited too. What is it, really? What is it? And Obinna told her, my brother is taking me abroad next week. Obinna expected Nena to be happy for him, but he was surprised when she stared at him in shock for a few minutes, then suddenly burst into tears. Obinna was flustered. Nne, what is it? Why are you crying? He asked. And then Nena started crying. If you go, she said, you won't come back for me. Obinna felt this was a joke and he laughed. Why won't I, my love? I love you, he said. Nena shook her head frantically. Men change abroad. You will go and marry a Igbo woman. You will forget me. She held Obinna's shirt. If you love me, you will stay back. Obinna was speechless. He said to her, Nena, this is abroad we are talking about though. This is a very good opportunity for me and you. I'll go and make money, then come back and marry you, he said. Just wait for me. But Nena was adamant and cried harder, insisting that he would not return for her when he left. Obinna was confused. He didn't want to leave Nena like this, but he couldn't also give up such a golden opportunity. That night, he returned home torn and confused. His mother, who was so euphoric about her sons traveling, didn't even notice his mood. Obinna ate his dinner quietly with his family. When his brother tried to find out what was wrong with him, he insisted he was fine and went to bed soon after. But he could not sleep. He had to make a decision and he didn't know what to do. He tossed and turned throughout the night, and in the early hours of the morning, when the village cock started to crow, he came to a decision. Meanwhile, Chike was enjoying his time in the village. He had been away for years and just had a few days to spend before going back. And in those few days, the news of Obinna's upcoming departure filtered out to the village. The village began to treat Obinna even more reverently. Men slapped his back. "You are going abroad," they said. Women smiled at him with newfound respect. Young boys followed him around, asking what snow looked like, as if he had already seen it. His mother began planning how she would brag to her age mates once both her sons were overseas. The transformation had already begun, and he had not even gone. On the first night after the announcement, Obinna's brother called him aside and asked him about his life in the village. They spent the evening talking about everything. However, Chike noticed that whenever he brought the talk of their upcoming departure, Obinna would always avoid or change the topic. Chike didn't see the earlier excitement Obinna had shown just that morning when he had first talked about going abroad anymore. But he was not bothered. Maybe he's just afraid of a change, Chike thought. Obinna need not worry, he assured him. Everything had been arranged before he even stepped to the village. Work was ready. Papers were ready. All Obinna needed to do was get ready and come with him. Meanwhile, Nena pretended to be happy. She smiled too brightly, asked questions too quickly. But 2 days before Obinna's departure, when they walked alone past the stream, her voice trembled. She asked him if he would come back to her. Obinna said yes. But even as he said it, doubt entered Nena's eyes. She looked away quietly. On the other hand, the excitement in the village continued. The whole village seemed rife with happiness. Another of their son would be going abroad. They began calculating Obinna's future before he even stepped on the plane. "You will send us money," some said. "You will build here," others said. "You will marry a white woman," another person said. Nena heard all of this and went home quietly that night. Her mother had already started warning her. Men who travel abroad tend to forget. 3 days before departure, Obinna began to feel pressure. For the first time, the idea of leaving felt real. He imagined snow. He imagined buildings taller than palm trees. He imagined becoming more than just a village champion. And then he imagined Nena marrying someone else while he was gone. And he became extremely jealous. At 18, jealousy felt more real than opportunity. 2 days before his departure, Nena and Obinna were in their usual spots. Nena was crying bitterly. The kind that makes a boy feel powerful. The kind that says, "You are my whole world." And when she cried harder, something suddenly shifted inside him. Being needed felt more important than living and becoming successful. And suddenly, staying felt heroic. Looking at Nena's sobbing head, Obinna made a decision that would change his life forever. Meanwhile, back at home, Obinna's mother continued happily packing foodstuff for her children. She didn't trust the white man's food, so she kept packing local Nigerian foodstuff to make sure her sons would not starve. She didn't forget to also package some special herbs for her daughter-in-law and her grandchildren over there. Chike was keeping her company, cracking jokes and laughing heartily. A day before departure, Chike was sitting outside the house when Obinna came out. He mumbled a greeting to Chike and made to move past him. Chike noticed something odd about his attitude and called him back. "Hope you're getting ready," he asked him. Obinna avoided the question, mumbled that he was going to check on his straps, and quickly walked away. Chike, who had heard stories from his mother about Obinna and Nena, warned him sternly. "Obinna, opportunity does not knock twice, but youth believes it always will," and Obinna rushed away. That night, Chike checked upon Obinna to be sure that he was ready to leave early the next morning. The morning of the departure, the house woke before the sunrise. Bags were brought outside. Chike stood waiting. Passports were ready. Tickets were ready. A few of the neighbors gathered, including Chike's uncle, Chief Amadi. The car engine started. Chike stepped to the compound and called Obinna's name. Obinna stood inside the house, heart racing. Nena's tears from the night before were still fresh on his mind, and in that moment, his decision was reinforced. He had chosen emotion over expansion. He walked outside slowly. His brother turned and looked at him. "Bia woke him. Why are you not dressed? Do you want us to be late?" Obinna replied his brother with false bravado. "I'm not going." The villagers froze. Chike stared at him, eyes bulging with shock. "What did you just say?" With his eyes cast to the ground, Obinna replied, "Brother, I cannot go. I cannot leave Nena." The slap that followed was not just of anger. It was that of disappointment. Chike shouted, "You are choosing a girl over your future. Are you mad?" But love had blinded Obinna. Obinna's mother started crying. The neighbors started whispering loudly. Chike started shouting at Obinna, threatening to hit him. Obinna summoned courage and talked back at Chike, at which Chike made to slap him, but their mother held him back and started wailing loudly. The chaos attracted attention. Obinna's uncle, who had been part of the little crowd outside, came into the house. After making all three of them sit down calmly, or as calm as he could, Chief Amadi, their uncle, turned to Obinna and asked him, "Are you stupid? So you want to give up your future for a girl? Girlfriend, not even wife. What is wrong with you?" But Obinna's face looked firm and set. He wasn't going to change his mind. After all, he was 18 and could make up his own mind to do what he wanted. By the time Chike had calmed down a bit, he told Obinna he would give him just 2 more days to make up his mind on what he wanted with his life. His initial plan had been for himself and Obinna to spend 3 days in Lagos before going abroad because he wanted Obinna to have a taste of Nigerian city life before leaving. But now they would have to boycott that and just head to America the day after arriving Lagos. That is if Obinna would even agree. After hours of trying to persuade Obinna, Chief Amadi gave up and went back home after telling him the proverb, "He who the gods want to kill, they will first make mad." It was now 2 days to departure. The atmosphere in the house was tense. The two brothers were not talking to each other, and their mother was distraught. On the afternoon of the first day, after unsuccessfully trying to convince Obinna again, Obinna's mother decided to take matters into her own hands. She went to find Nina.
"Where is that stupid girl? Where is that stupid girl?
Magude.
Keep your nonsense greeting to yourself. This girl, leave my son alone. Allow him to travel and go and have a good life abroad. Are you a witch?"
At this point, Nina's mother stepped out of the house. She shouted. "Who is barking like a mad dog in my house?" "Who are you calling a mad dog?" Obinna's mother replied. "Tell your nonsense daughter to leave my son alone." Is your son a baby?" Nina's mother replied. "Can't he make decisions for himself?" And the two mothers continued quarreling, with Nina trying to separate them. Meanwhile, the villagers that knew what was going on gossiped. Some of the maidens said it was romantic. Others said it was pure foolishness, and Nina was just being selfish because she knew Obinna loved her a lot. Eventually, Obinna's mother returned home with a stern warning to Nina. However, the fight between Obinna's mother and Nina's mother has spread throughout the village like wildfire. By the time Obinna returned from the farm, the news was already waiting for him. He did not greet anyone. Anger burned in his chest as he rushed home. He found his mother in the compound, still fuming. Without thinking, he started to shout, "Why would you go and insult her? Why would you go and disgrace me like that?" His mother tried to speak, but he would not listen. Just then, Chike's elder brother stepped out from inside the house. "What is wrong with you?" he barked at Obinna. "How dare you raise your voice at our mother because of a girl? Because of that girl?" Before Obinna could respond, Chike grabbed him by the shirt. For a moment, it seemed like he would beat him up that day. But their mother kept trying to separate them, and eventually Chike walked away from the house to calm down. It was now a day to final departure. That evening, Chike called his younger brother aside and spoke to him the way an elder brother would. At first, his voice was calm. "You are young," he said. "You do not understand what this opportunity means to you." He tried to reason with him quietly. He spoke of the city, of struggles, and then of growth, of a better future. But Obinna would not bend. When persuasion failed, Chike's voice rose. "Is it because of that girl?" he demanded. "You will throw away your future because of a girl?" Obinna stood his ground. Every word Chike spoke fell on deaf ears. And then something changed on his brother's face. "Very well," Chike said slowly. "From today, I have washed my hands of you." The words felt heavier than a slap. "I will no longer send you money," Chike continued. "I will not carry your burden anymore. I will take care of our mother. That is my duty. But as for you..."
From today, you are no longer my brother.